Willis. The family of Dr. G. Willis find healing in God's tender, embracing, and in knowing others remembered and cared. Thank you for keeping us in your prayers. Special thanks to St. Stephen Church family, Mr. Reggie Willis. This is from the homeborn and Mother Willis from last week. All right, on tonight at 6 o'clock p.m., the Ways and Means Committee is sponsoring, amen, is sponsoring a service here at St. Stephen for our district, Virginia Beach District. And we ask that everyone to please come out and support the service on tonight. We have 4 great couples who will be coming and speaking on tonight. The theme for tonight is Together We Stand and Divided We Fall. And they're going to come in their own way as God has led them to speak on tonight, these 4 couples. So please come out, support the couples, as well as support this service on tonight. Amen. Again, we'll be here at 6 o'clock p.m. Our elected pastor already has stated on July the 31st, August the 1st, and August the 2nd, Wednesday through Friday, we do have a 3 nights of revival. We'll be held at the New Community Church Temple. And we always did that the prayer starts from 7 to 8 o'clock p.m. Each night we have 6 prayer warriors who will lead us off in prayer. But please come out to support the youth. If you're there, you want to pray, you can get up often to pray. But please come out to support the revival on this week. And again, we ask the service starts at the prayer starts at 7 o'clock. And come out for prayer. You know, this is prayer hour. We need prayer. And the world needs prayer. And we need to pray for one another. Amen. On Sunday, August the 4th, the nurses unit is having their one-night crusade. And that would be here at 6 o'clock p.m. Again, and that's from our nurses unit under our president, Mother Bear Brown. She has this every year, and she always does an outstanding job with one-night crusade. So please come out on next Sunday at 6 o'clock p.m. to support the nurses unit. And we do, and on August the 5th, we have our combined vision meeting. The vision meeting will be held here at St. Stephen's, and it will be at 7 o'clock p.m. And then we have our first outgoing appointment, which is August the 7th, which is on a Wednesday night. And we'll be going to the Herald of His Coming, to God in Christ, and that will be at 7:30 p.m. And for the revival, the church bus will be going nightly for the revival. Again, the revival starts at 7 hours of time, and we're leaving the church ground, but we will get the information to you as soon as possible. Thank you. Please go yourself accordingly to these announcements. The bus will leave the church ground at 6:45. Thank you.
Good morning, saints. Good morning. I stand before you with the honor of introducing our wonderful speaker on today. I can tell you a lot about her, but I'll just read her bio. Missionary Pamela Lovell Mitchell was born in Norfolk, Virginia to the late Deacon James and Jeanette Stiff. She accepted Christ at an early age, but rededicated her life back to him in February 1995. Garrett's Community Church was her home church for many years. However, in 1999, she began to attend the St. Stephen's Church of God in Christ, and soon thereafter became a member under the leadership of Bishop Ted G. Thomas Sr., General Board Member. She did not sit idle, for immediately she joined the Children's Church Department, and as the years passed, she joined other auxiliaries. She is currently the president of the Pastor's Aid Department, a member of the Elders, Ministers, and Deacons Wives, a member of the Wings Circle, and the Cathedral and Inspirational Choirs. She attends Sunday school faithfully and YPWW. And she also serves on the outreach ministry team and is a vacation Bible school teacher. On the district level, Missionary Mitchell serves as a member of the Finance Committee and a member of the district choir. She is also a member of the Virginia No. 1 Jurisdictional Choir. She was elevated by God to do the work of a missionary and was licensed in 2016. Missionary Mitchell has been married to Chairman Deacon Barry Mitchell Sr. for 12 years, 12 love-filled years, sorry. They have 3 beautiful children, yours truly, Barry Jr. and Harold Walker. She earned a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Education from Virginia Tech University in 1986 and a Master's in Public Administration from Troy University in 2005. Missionary Mitchell is currently a supervisory contract specialist with the Department of the Navy and has been employed there for over 31 years. Most importantly, she is saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. She has a kind and generous spirit and is a lover of people young and old. Her ultimate aim is for God to get the glory out of her life. I present to some and introduce to others after the choir, Missionary Pamela Waller Mitchell.
Freeman, who is the president of the missionary department, who will speak in on today. And I just thank God for all God's people on today, all the elders and ministers, deacons, missionaries, God's holy people, and visitors on today. Thank you for coming. Thank you for a listening ear on today. Hallelujah. So today we're just going to start. We're going to read in Exodus, the 14th chapter, starting with the 21st verse. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. Down to verse 26, and the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. And the waters returned, and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the hosts of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Hallelujah. God has a way for your escape. And you may be seated. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. And before I want to get my honor, my husband. Hallelujah. I forgot him. Thank you. That is my soulmate, my friend. I tell you, the one who prays for me, anoints me. Hallelujah. And I thank God for him. Thank you, Jesus. God has a way for your escape. Thank you, Jesus. We're talking about a very familiar passage on today. Moses is leading the Israelites out of Egypt, out of the hand of Pharaoh, so they can travel to the blessed land that God promised them, that land of milk and honey. God has been with them all the way, leading them by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Now they are at the Red Sea. Hallelujah. So before I go any further, I just want to back up a little bit and just talk about how we even got here. God told Moses by way of a burning bush all about the suffering of his people, the Israelites. He was to go to Pharaoh for their release from Egypt. Moses wasn't an eloquent speaker and felt inadequate. So he took his brother Aaron and his staff with him to aid in this cause. Of course, Pharaoh would not let them go. The Israelites were his slaves. They worked hard for him. They handled the livestock. And they kept the fields, etc. Moses went through a series of demonstrations to prove that God was with him. Hallelujah. And so the first, these demonstrations were called plagues. And the first plague was water turned to blood. So all the water sources in Egypt turned to blood. And so there was no drinking of the water, there was no washing of your body because it was blood. Hallelujah. So Pharaoh asked Moses, please stop this plague. So Moses did. And we thought that Pharaoh was going to let the people go, but of course he did not. And so the next plague was the frogs. Frogs that cover the land. There were frogs so everywhere, in the bed, in winter, in the cabinets, everywhere was frogs. Hallelujah. So again, Pharaoh, please, Moses, stop this plague. So he stopped the plague, and he said, oh, I'm not going to let the people go. Hallelujah. The third plague was the plague of gnats. Everybody know how busy gnats is all over here and all, and it just was just millions of them. I just can't even tell you the numbers. So many. Hallelujah. But Pharaoh would not, even after Moses let any of that plague, would not let him go. And the infestation of flies. Now I'm going to stop over this infestation of flies. We were at the picnic yesterday. Hallelujah. Oh my God, we had a good time, but it was a challenge trying to eat. When we jumping in there with a tissue and trying to eat. Oh my goodness. So I can't imagine just infestation of flies. Flies everywhere, my God, my Lord Jesus. But Pharaoh asked them again, please stop the plague. He always wanted Moses to stop the plague, but then he would not let the people go. And then the phase go on was the death of all the Egyptian livestock, war breakout on the people of Egypt, hailstorms that killed the unsheltered humans, animals, and vegetation. Then there was locusts that covered the land and consumed all remaining vegetation. Darkness covered Egypt for 3 days. And the last plague, the firstborn children of all Egyptian people and cattle died. Even Moses' sons, Pharaoh's sons, the firstborn died. But all this time, God was hardening Pharaoh's heart, so that he would not let them go. So my question was, why harden his heart? Didn't he want his people to be free? And of course he did, but he hardened because he wanted these plagues to take place. The plagues were opportunity to see the power of God at work and to generate the fear of him. Now, I'm not talking about the scary kind of fear, but the fear of God that you are in awe. And you are in reference to all that God is and all that God can do. Hallelujah. So there will be no question about who released the people. God released the people. Hallelujah. So there will be no question. In the beginning, I'll tell you a little bit about this. Before the plague started, Aaron had the staff. He threw the staff down and returned to a circle. But Pharaoh had some magicians that worked for him that did the same thing. So they were able, in the beginning, the magicians could copy what Moses and his brother did. The staff turned to serpent. Even the water, they could turn the water to blood. And they could bring the frogs up on the land. Hallelujah. But the next plague, the magicians could not imitate. And then they proclaimed, must be the finger of God. So even the magicians recognized the real power which was in God, not the trickery thing that they were doing.
Right.
And they were imitating the miracles until they couldn't any longer. That's how folks are today. We see people, they're walking around with the big hats on and they claim the salvation and I love God, but they're mean and they're not approachable. Hallelujah. And then they just pretend to be for you. Pretend to be your friend. They bring you, grab you in. Hallelujah. And then in return, they stab you in the back. I tell you, I always say, so OJ sung a song and smile in your face. Take your face. The backstabbers. Hallelujah. So we got to be straight up saying, so we'll know who the backstabbers are. Hallelujah. Who is coming forward, who our enemy is, so that we can recognize them. Hallelujah. And we can be aware. Hallelujah. The whole thing that just kept coming to my mind as I was studying this was that God stressed the purpose. Let my people go so that they may worship me. And I do say worship. Worship me. God wants us to worship him. Yes, hallelujah. We serve a good and mighty God. Hallelujah. And we need to worship him more and more. Hallelujah. The Bible lets us know that Pharaoh eventually let God's people go. I call it the first million-person march. Because there were 600,000 men, not counting women and children. So there easily could be 1 million people. But then God hardened Pharaoh's heart once again, so that he wanted to recapture them. So now we're in a chase. So God instructed Moses to have the people change the course to go a different direction. It wasn't the obvious route they would take to go to leave Egypt and go to the promised land. It wasn't the obvious route, but it was a way that it made them appear confused. It may have seemed even strange to them. They were going different ways and going back and coming back. But God himself said, Isaiah 55:8, that his thoughts are not our thoughts, neither are his ways our ways. That is the purpose of everything that God does. There's a purpose for everything that he does. So I want you up to speed. We are at the Red Sea at this point. Hallelujah. And God and the Egyptians are on the track. The Israelites are at the Red Sea with Moses, and they were wondering how we're going to get out of this. Hallelujah. But Moses spread up his hands. Hallelujah. And he opened up that sea. God opened the Red Sea, and there was land on the right and on the left. The sea was parted, and they could walk in. Hallelujah. On dry land. And I've never been to Atlanta. I want to go and see the aquarium. I've seen them on TV. Hallelujah. You can go and walk and you see this big water, the deep, and you see all the different creatures that's in the water, and all the different plant life that's in the water. It's just amazing. But how many people know that when God opened that sea, there was no mirror, no glass, hallelujah. It was nothing but his power, hallelujah, that held back the sea and let the Israelites walk across the land. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Yes, Lord, thank you. Some of us are still going through an Exodus experience. Like Pharaoh and his army, they may be chasing you. You may have heartache chasing you. Hallelujah. But you can raise your hand like Psalm 14:3 and say, he hardened the heart of the heart. He healeth the heart, the broken heart, and the binding up their wounds. Hallelujah. If you feel lost, hallelujah, Deuteronomy 31:8, and the Lord, he is the one that goes before you. Hallelujah. He will be with you. He will not leave you nor forsake you. Do not fear, nor be dismayed. Hallelujah. If you feel the financial problems, hallelujah. Philippians 14:4-19, but my God shall provide all your needs according to your riches and glory in Christ Jesus. Hallelujah. Family issues or problems on the job. Cast all your cares on me, God careth for you. God careth. And call upon me, he says. I will answer thee and show thee great and mighty things which thou knowest not. Hallelujah. If you suffer with health problems, hallelujah. If that is your Exodus experience, Isaiah 53:5. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. Hallelujah. If you're feeling fearful, God said, don't fear. Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee. Yea, I will uphold thee with thy right hand of my righteousness. Hallelujah. Whatever the Exodus experience may be, God has an escape plan for you. God's plan is foolproof. There's no wrong, hallelujah, in his plan. A lot of times it is dependent, however, on our obedience. In order for Moses and the people to be successful, Moses had to be obedient to what God said. He had to talk, he had to say what God said, he had to lift the rod and lift his hand when God said to do that. He had to do it, and we have to be obedient too. Hallelujah. Nothing that you've done is so bad that God cannot forgive you. Nothing that you've done is so bad that God won't help you.
Thank you, Lord.
You just have to ask. We have to ask. We have to be sincere in our asking. Hallelujah. And we have to believe that God can do what we're asking him to do. Hallelujah. As I was studying stress the point of worship. Hallelujah. We are to worship God. Let my people go so that they may worship me. Kept saying it over and over again so that they may be free to worship. God wants us to be free to worship.